So obviously we're limited as far as like chemicals and things like that we're going to be using, but we'll talk through a lot of that side of things as well. So a couple of the main things that we need to be aware of, and one of the first and foremost is ceramic coating. Ceramic coating these days are causing big headaches, whether we're doing PPF or whether we're doing colour change. Anything that we're applying onto the vehicle, if it's been ceramic coated, we're going to have problems because it's not going to want to adhere to it very well because we've got that layer. The only way realistically to get rid of that is a machine polish. So we need to know beforehand whether or not that's been done. If the customer doesn't know whether it has or hasn't been done, there are a few ways that we can test that. A lot of that would be, using like spray water and things like that onto it, and you'll be able to see whether the water beads. If you're getting a lot of beading on the water on the surface, then that's a good indication that you've got some kind of ceramic coat or wax that's going to be on that surface. But going into like the preparation side of things, one of the main things to start off with is a full, what we would call a decontamination clean. So that would be snow foams, jet washer, things like that. So we would do that prior to it coming inside of the building. Everything that we can clean by hand, we would do so before it enters the building. Once all that side of things has then been done and it's had a good clean, we would then bring it inside, and then over the period of 24 hours we would allow it to settle and also dismantle the bits that we would need to take off, i.e. bumpers, wing mirrors, lights, door handles, window trims, anything like that that we know can come off or we are taking off. We need to take those off prior to installation because there's still going to be water trapped behind there. Obviously, as we all know from installers' point of view, if we get water on the back of the material, then it's pretty much game over in those areas, certainly when it comes to wrapping. If we're looking at the things like PPF, wet PPFs, people think it's not too bad, it's not a problem. It is more of a problem because obviously we've got dirt and contamination which is going to go behind the back of it, which you're obviously going to see with it being a PPF. Okay? So once we've got everything dismantled, all the parts of the car are now sort of taken apart and it's starting to dry off naturally, we would then introduce things like a adhesive remover or clear bar, clear mitts, clear gloves, those kind of things. So what they would do is take off the heavily contaminated areas, so we get like tar droplets and things like that which come off of the road. So we need to make sure that they're all off as well because they will protrude and stick out through the material. Okay. Once we've done that and we've got all of those off, we would use water with the clear bar side of things as well, whether it's clear bar, clear mitt or clear cloth. Once we've done all of that and it's then started to dry, we would then finish off with a surface clean. Surface clean, again, depending on what we're applying, as in the material brand, depends on the surface cleaner we use. Most, but not all, surface cleaners are directly correlated with the manufacturer, i.e. 3M, Avery, things like that. So the cleaners that are specifically for that manufacturer will have chemical components within the cleaner which act with the adhesive as an accelerant or as an activator of some sort. If we don't use the right cleaners with the right materials, then we can potentially get failures. Okay, so it's a very key thing to make sure that we don't cross-contaminate cleaners with materials as well. Okay, so again, as far as the actual demonstration side of things, there's not a lot from a cleaning perspective obviously we can show because it's, we'll clean the vehicle and then you're going to see it's clean. I've not got a snow foam or clear bars and things like that whilst we're in here, but the method would still be the same. Okay, so once we've then got to a point where we're using a surface cleaner and we've finished that, we would then leave it to flash off to make sure that there's no surface cleaner contaminants left on the vehicle before we put anything onto it. Another key thing which I like to do as well is just getting another clean cloth just to go around over the top once we've done a surface clean and just check that all the areas that are sort of in behind the back of hard to reach areas, if you like, they're all as clean as they can be. Basically the cloth needs to be looking as clean as it did before we started cleaning to make sure that we've got everything. All right. If it's not, then obviously it's a clear indication that it's not as clean as it can be. Okay. The cleaning is the most important part because that is what's going to give you the best finish possible. If we don't clean it to a standard that is good enough, then that will show through the wrap or the PPF, whatever it is that we're applying, okay? So it's vital that we make sure that it's clean. We need the vehicles in at least, I would say, 24 hours before an install. The more we can get it in, so 48 hours, even better. But obviously we have got deadlines within the industry, and unfortunately the industry is very fast-paced, as we know, if we're all in it. So we don't have the greatest deal of time sometimes, but equally there's still a process to be followed, and we need to make sure that our clients are aware that if these processes aren't followed, then we're going to have problems. Okay?